Whenever it comes to high performance, nutrition plays a very important role, no matter if it is in sports, in business, or in life. I want to say a big hello to the Phoenix GVD Business Club. And in the next couple of minutes, I just want to share some experience I made in the past about nutrition and high performance, and also the correlation between nutrition, food, and high performance. My name is Falko Krismayr. I am now almost 45 years old, and I have been a professional athlete myself. So I was a ski jumper, and I was a professional coach. During my own career, I was able to win 2 medals in junior world championships, and as a coach, I was able to help athletes from different nations to win world championship titles, Olympic gold medals, and this was also the time of my life in my career when I gained a lot of experience about nutrition and how it has an impact on the performance of athletes. Later in my career, I was also able to translate or transform this experience into my business life and into my private life. So I'm call this little speech about the meaning nutrition has on high performance and for your life. No, this is not working. Okay, so in my experience when I was coaching, over more than 26 years, I built my own system. And every athlete, when he's going to a competition, he wants to win. That's why on the top of the system, I call it, that's the performance area, that's the competition area. That's where you want to show 100% of what you are capable to do. You will really want to unleash the full everything you have been training. So underneath this performance level, we have the training level. That's more or less, the daily job or the daily routine of an athlete. That's when you go training, you go to the weightlifting room, you do gymnastics, you do mental training, you do endurance training, you do whatever it takes, material optimization, whatever it takes just to get better and better and better. So this is just the daily life of an athlete. And this is the training level. But underneath the competition level and the training level, there is one more level. And this is the most important level I figured out over the course of my career. And this level is called the health. And it's very easy to understand why this is the most important level. Because if you are not healthy, you cannot show 100% of what you have been gaining during your training in the competition. And if you're not healthy, you cannot get better during your training process. So that's why health is the base of everything. We also say in our daily life, we always say to the people when there's New Year or when there's birthday, we say, stay healthy, good health. That's what we wish for everybody every time when we meet people. And during the course of my career, I learned that health, it's not like we are a victim. There is it's not like health is happening to us. We are in control of our health. Actually, the truth is that only 30% of our health and the way how we are aging and how we are able to perform is determined by our genes. And newer and newer studies, they show that this percentage is even getting less and less and less. I saw already one study where they say only 5% is determined by the genes. So that means the other part is in our own control. So the highest percentage, 70 to 95% of how we feel and how we perform on a daily life is on our terms. And this is called the epigenetics. This is the whole influence, how we live our life, where we are living, what we are eating, what we are doing, what we are consuming, if there is radiations, if there is radiations from the earth, from the sky, from the electricity, which food we are eating, how good is the nutrition, are we getting all the nutrients our body needs every day, how are we moving, this is 95% of our life. Also, the people we surround ourselves. Do we have an uplifting environment or an environment that is taking us down? Do we have enough money? Money has a big influence on health. That's, yeah, business club. You're looking to create a big business or doing a good business, so that you are able to, nourish your body the right way and give your body the freedom it needs. And when we are talking about sports, every time when I do this lecture, I'm asking the people, what role does nutrition actually play in sports? And most of the time it comes, yeah, it's energy. But for me, nutrition is much more than energy, because when you have this food pyramid, I think everybody need to figure out his own way. If you want to eat vegetarian, if you want to eat paleo, if you want to eat according to your blood, I don't know how you call it in English. There's so many different diets on the world, and I think everybody needs to decide on his own what is fitting. What is your truth about eating? Do you believe in vegetarian diet? Do you believe in a balanced diet? Do you believe in paleo diet? Whatever. But there's one common thing that is going over all the diets, and this is the nutrients. And actually, when I was responsible to optimize the nutrition for the athletes I was coaching, I was reading a lot of studies and going really deep dive and talking to a lot of doctors. And at one point, I crossed one study from Dr. Joel Wallach. And in this study, he had to figure out why human beings are dying. And this study was going over 20 years, and he did autopsy on 17,000 human beings and animals. And what he figured out was very interesting, because he had 100% the same result on the whole study. And that means that every human being and every animal dies due to the lack of one nutrient over a longer period of time. And this is such a powerful sentence that I want to just repeat it one more time. Every human being and every animal on this planet dies due to the lack of one nutrient over a longer period of time. That means, it's not about when we have an accident, but if we are, living a normal life and we are going to die, we are missing one nutrient. This lack of a nutrient leads to a illness, and then we die. So the core is that we are missing one nutrient. And out of this study, this Dr. Joel Wallach, he defined 91 essential nutrients. That means this is nutrients we need to uptake through our food every day, because our body cannot produce these nutrients on its own. So we need to uptake it with our food. And we need, and our body needs it also every day. So it's not possible to skip it 1 day or 2 days. Maybe does nothing happen with 1 or 2 days. But if you skip it over a longer period of time, we just heard the result of the study, it will lead to illness, and this illness can lead to death. So that's about the study. And these 91 nutrients, they are fit together from, these are vitamins, these are minerals, these are amino acids and fatty acids. So this is the full spectrum of nutrients our body needs every day. And those nutrients, they are responsible for more than 95% of all the metabolism process in our body. And the interesting thing is that one of those metabolism process is also our cell recovery. And every day our body builds about 300 million new cells. And if we are able to give our body the full spectrum of all the essential nutrients, we will have healthy, good functioning cells, that will work the right way. And if not, then our cells have bad quality, and they will not work the way how they should. And the interesting thing is that maybe you know it, that every 7 years our body is almost completely replaced. That means 89% of our body is replaced after 7 years. That means I can decide, or you can decide today how you feel in 7 years from now. You can decide today to make the decision to give your body every day the full spectrum of nutrients it needs, and you will have a totally different body 7 years from now. And this is also exactly what I could experience on my own body. So back to sport. What was also very interesting is that after I was reading this study, I wanted to know, okay, how much of those nutrients is an average person taking every day? And what I figured out was quite shocking, that in the normal society, it is around 9 to 11 of those nutrients what the people are taking every day. 9 to 11 from 91. So then I went to our doctor and I wanted to do a study on it, or not a study. I just asked him, can you tell me on the way how we are eating with our athletes? You know, we also used a little bit of nutrition, the classic style, you know, like isostar and those stuff. How many of those nutrients our athletes are uptaking every day? And the shocking thing was that it was only less than 1/3. That means that they only had 1/3 of the nutrients they needed. And one of the metabolism process, very important for an athlete, is the adaptation on the training. So that means every time we train, you know, we hurt our body. And then our body gives a response and makes himself better. That's what we call that the adaptation on the training. But if you are missing 2/3 of the nutrients, you're also lacking maybe 2/3 of the adaptation of the training. That means maybe you're training just for the taste of it, because your body is not able to adapt the way it could be if you optimize everything. And that was also what we were thinking. So what we did is we tried to give our athletes the full spectrum of the 91 nutrients every day. And the interesting thing was that those athletes who were seeing it through, you know, who pushed the whole year to give the body the full spectrum, you know, those were the athletes that were also winning the medals at the end of the day. Not only because of the nutrients, but those were those type of athletes that took everything a little bit more serious. They tried to be in every little matter in the training a little bit better. So, and the nutrition was just one big part. And if you want to build up healthy nutrition, if anybody comes to me, it always starts with omega-3. And that's very simple to explain, because omega-3 is the basic nutrient, because it works in the cell membrane. And if you don't have the right balance on omega-3 and omega-6 in your cell membrane, it gets stiff, hard, and then all the other nutrients cannot get into the cell membrane the way it should be. Then the metabolism process in the cell is going on a low level, and you will not get the max performance, peak performance you could do. And what also is happening, that the waste the cell is producing is not getting out of the cell, because it also sticks in the cell, and then those cells, they're getting an inflammation, and then the next cell is doing it, the next cell, bigger part of many cells, and at one point this inflammation gets a name, and it's maybe called arthritis or whatever. You know, there's so many different ways on how silent inflammations causes chronic diseases in our body. And for us as an athlete, it is with every training we produce micro injuries in our body. And those micro injuries, the process of adaptation, you always need an inflammation for healing, you know, for the adaptation. But if your body is lacking omega-3 fatty acids, you cannot take away those inflammations anymore, and then you get a chronic silent inflammation, and your body always has stress. And if your body is stressed by the silent inflammation, it cannot recover the way it should be. And if you cannot recover the way it should be, you cannot train that much as it should be. So it has a compound effect. I hope you can see that. That's why omega-3 fatty acids is the base of nutrition. And to me, my personal recommendation is that every athlete needs to do at least half a year, better every 3-4 months, testing on omega-3, omega-6 to see how high is the index. That means how many omega-3 fatty acids you have in your cell membrane in percentage. And for me, you know, for normal person, the recommendation is 8%. So the index should be 8%. But for an athlete, I recommend 16 or even higher. And the ratio, it must be from omega-3 to omega-6. That's also a result that you get when you measure your fatty acid profile in your cell membrane. It should be lower than 3 to 1. So this is my recommendation. This is my approach on nutrition in general. Make sure that you get the full spectrum of all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the amino acids and fatty acids that your body needs every day. And the first thing you should take really control of is your fatty acid profile. That's why I recommend you to take a test and make sure that you have enough omega-3 fatty acids in your body. I hope this was a valuable information for you. I wish you a good seminar, and maybe I have the pleasure to see you once. So, dziękuję and see you. Bye.